Today we're going to make the honey top. You're going to need to cut out one back on the fold, one front on the fold, two sleeves on the fold, the neckband, and two cuffs on the fold. And this is a real easy pattern to do. If you're a beginner sewer, this is an excellent top for you to make. And I'm gonna make this top to go with the shorts that we made last week. Okay, the first thing we wanna do is take our two cuffs and we're going to fold them in half. And our neckband. Okay, we're gonna take and fold our neckband in half also. Okay, we're gonna take and sew down this seam, and this seam. Okay, we're gonna cut these loose. Okay, I'm using a serger. If you don't have a serger, this is a stretchy material. You can use the zigzag stitch on a sewing machine. Okay, the next, we're gonna take our top, that's my sleeves. We're gonna take our front, and we're gonna lay it right sides up. Our front is shorter than our back. Then we're gonna take our back. And we're gonna match up the shoulder seams. And we're gonna stitch across the top shoulder seams. So I'm gonna stitch those now. I'm gonna do, some people do this different. I like to sew my sleeves flat. So I'm gonna separate the front and the back. Okay, and I'm going to take my sleeve pattern, my sleeve pieces. I want it right sides up. Okay, the longer piece goes up to the top, and I'm going to pin my sleeves in. If you notice you have a little indentation, part that sticks out farther, that's where your two ends want to go. And then I clip the center, so I'm going to find my center where I clipped it, and I'm going to put a pin there. And I don't think I clipped this other center. It helps a lot to match things up if you can. Okay, so my center wants to match to this seam here. Okay, and I'm going to place the other sleeve. Match your centers up, your center mark up to the seam. Match my other end here. And I'm using double brush poly material. So it's real soft, real stretchy. And I got this materials from Oceaneyes Supply. Now the only thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna take and sew our two sleeves into our shirt. I'm going to get it started, and I'm going to make sure I have both pieces lined up as I go. Now we're going to sew the other sleeve. Got it twisted. Okay. I'm going to start on this side over here. Trying to make sure I got my sleeve on top. I want to keep my sleeve on top. Just my preference. Now we have something that looks like this. Okay, so we're gonna take wrong sides. We're gonna match up this end of the sleeve. We're gonna sew the sleeves and the side shoulder, the seams and the side of the shirt. I'm gonna clip it here. I wanna match up my underarm seams. And if you nest those, you can have a better chance of getting them matched up, because it can be hard to match up seams like that. And then the bottoms, the bottom of my shirt. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. Pay attention to those seams. Make sure you get those seams lined up. Now we're going to sew the side seam all the way down to the bottom of the shirt on both sides. Okay, so we're gonna do the armbands first. Take your two armbands and we're gonna fold it in half. Okay. Now I wanna make sure I have those little tails sticking out so I can cut them off. I'm gonna put some clips here to hold it. Let's do the other armband. Okay, now I'm going to take and quarter my cuffs so I can make sure I get them even distributed on the shirt sleeve. To me, it's just easier to do that. So I'm going to take the side seam of the cuff and I'm going to put it on one side, and I'm going to stretch out my cuff. If I have a clip in the way, I just move it. I'm going to make a little clip there. Now I'm going to match up the side seam to the little clip snip that I just made. I'm going to make little clips on each side. I'm going to do the same thing with the other cuff. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for my sleeves. Pull my side seam to the side, make a little snip. Line the little snip that I just made to the back, to the seam, underarm seam, the seam, side seam, and make 2 snips on each side. And the same thing to the other sleeve. Okay, we're going to take our little cuff. We're going to put our cuff on the inside of the sleeve, matching the back seam, matching the seam on the cuff to the seam on the sleeve. Okay, I'm going to go to the first snip that I made in my material. And the next snip that I made, next snip that I have on my sleeve, and I'm going to match those 2 snips up. And I'm going to do the same thing all the way around the cuff. Okay, you got 3 layers of fabric here. So when you sew, you want to make sure you catch all 3 layers. Okay, now we're going to do the other sleeve. All right, catch that one. Go back there. Okay, now we're going to take and sew on the inside of the cuff. Okay, if you have to, you can stretch it a little bit. If it's, to make sure you don't have any puckers or anything like that. Make sure the armband fits good. Okay, I'm starting a little bit on the other side of the seam. And I'm not going to start tugging anything until I get past that seam. Keep your two slits matched up. Make sure you have all 3 pieces of the fabric. Tug a little bit, start sewing. Your cuff is going to be smaller than the bottom of the shirt. So you just have to tug it just a little. Okay, I am going to knot off this one. And clip the thread. And then get a little thread here. Okay, now we're going to do the other sleeve band. Make sure your slit in your little slit in your cuff stays lined up with the slit that you made on the sleeve. And again, we're going to knot this one. You want to knot it. Some people use freight check. Some people put it back on through the seam, but you just want to do something to it to make sure it don't come loose. I find it easier just to knot it. Okay, let me get this. The neckband, we want to do the same things we did to the cuffs. Now this is going to be a skinny neckband, so I'm going to put quite a few clips in here to hold it for me. Fold it in half. I like to start where the seam's at to match up those seams. And put a clip. And just go all the way around, folding it in half and clipping it. Okay. Again, put our one seam on the side, make a clip, make a snip. Match up the snip that you just made to the back seam. And make a snip on each side of your neckband. Just trying to get this level or even some away. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Only thing we have to do is find the center front and center back. So we're gonna line up our 2 shoulder seams. I'm gonna make a snip in the front. And then a snip in the back. Okay, we're gonna start in the center back. We're gonna line the seam up with that little snip we made in the back, because your neckband has a little seam and you want that to be in the back. Find your next snip and match it up to the shoulder seam. Okay, your next snip will be the front. And then your last snip would be that shoulder seam, other shoulder seam. Now we're going to take and sew a seam around the inside of the neckband. And again, when you're sewing, make sure you're matching up your layers of fabric here. So I want to make sure I'm getting all 3 layers. Okay, and then we're going to want to tie off the neck. Left to do to our honey top is to hem it. Okay, I'm going to pull this around so we can see what we got going on. Okay, we got the press everything. Okay, here's our honey top. Let's see if I can get you to see it all. Okay, here's our honey top. The only thing I have to do is hem the bottom of it, and I'm gonna turn up a half. You can do a rolled hem, you can hem it. If you're making it for personal use, you don't even have to hem it. You can leave it like that because this is, like I said, double brush poly and it won't unravel. But I'm gonna turn up a 1/2 inch hem and I'm going to hem it all around with my cover stitch. Okay, and that is it. We have made the honey top. Thanks for watching.